Welcome to ButterDocs. We're a cloud-based writing app, like Google Docs, but we've worked hard to build a better writing experience. In this video, I'll cover getting you started in ButterDocs, using our advanced collaboration tools for co-writing and getting feedback on your work, organizing your ideas and research using notes, structuring your writing with our great outlining tools, and I'll show you some of the other great features that set us apart. Let's do it. Create a new document by clicking New Document on the desk. Write your title and hit Return. Click the Home button to get back to your desk. This is where all your documents live. When you want to get in the zone, use Focus Mode to eliminate all distractions. You can also set a sprint timer and get notifications to nudge you back on track when you stop writing. To change the paragraph type, click the element icon in the left margin. Hit Command-K to launch the Quick Command palette to search for tasks and keyboard shortcuts. If you've written something that isn't working in its current location, but you want to keep it to use later, you can store it in the stash. You can label your stash entries, and later when you're ready, you can drag it back to where you want in the document. One of the features that sets ButterDocs apart is the ability to create a copy of your document, make changes to it yourself or have other people make changes to it, and then choose which of those changes in the copy you want to incorporate in your main document. This is called branch and merge, and you can use it in a bunch of different ways. I'll cover a few later in the video. You can easily add collaborators to your document by clicking Share and entering their email address. An avatar will appear in the top bar for every writer you've shared the document with. The avatar will show a green live light if they're currently in the document. You'll also be able to see their cursor. You can change the color of the avatar for each writer and see what each writer has written by making their text the same color as their avatar. Just make sure Changes is toggled on and you've selected to see the changes by writer. If you don't want to see the colored text, select Hide Marks for Me. When you're working with collaborators, it can sometimes be difficult to write while they're watching over your shoulder. That's why in ButterDocs you can create private drafts to work in. This is one of the times that branch and merge feature I mentioned earlier comes in handy. Just create a new copy of your document, name it, and make sure draft visibility is set to invitees. That means your collaborators won't be able to see this copy until you're ready to share it with them. You can make all the changes you want to this copy, and it won't affect your main draft. It's a private sandbox for you to experiment in. If you look at the top bar, you'll see only your avatar, because only you have access to it. If you want your collaborators to see this document, click Unhide. Now you'll see Cindy's avatar is present, because she has access now. Now comes the best part. Click the arrow to merge this copy into the main draft. Don't worry, you'll have a chance to approve or discard all the changes you've made to this copy. Or you can accept them all and merge it quickly. Now all the changes you wanted from the copy have been incorporated in your main draft. You can also use the branch and merge feature to incorporate other people's changes. Let's say you want someone to edit or proofread your document. You can create a copy and share it with them by adding their email address. They'll get an invitation to accept. Then they can make changes to that copy without affecting your main draft. When they're done, they can change the status to Needs Review. Now you can look at all their proposed changes and choose which ones you want to incorporate into your draft. If you don't like it, reject it. Comments can be used to get feedback from your collaborators, or you can leave comments yourself as you're revising your work. If you don't want your collaborators to see the comment you left, set it to private. You can tag comments by using the hashtag while you're writing them, or after the fact when you want to organize existing comments. Then you can filter the comments to see only the tags you want. This is a great way to turn feedback into an action plan for your next draft. Oh, and you can see the comments by the section of your document instead of having to wade through a swarm of chaotic feedback. This makes it really easy to use them as a revision checklist. You can also tag your collaborators in comments, and they'll be notified. Before you even start writing, you'll probably have some pre-writing to do. Research, brainstorming, free writing, character developing, and world building all fall into this category, and you can do all of that with notes in ButterDocs. To start, let's create a note about one of our characters. This is where we can organize and store all our thoughts on the character. Seems pretty basic so far. But we can also do a lot more. If we type two open brackets, we'll get a pop-up box that lets us link to all our other notes. If you choose one of these notes, it creates a link to it. Hold Command and click on the link to go to that note. Even better, at the bottom of a note, you'll see all the other places in which that note is referenced. So let's say I've written a bunch more notes and linked to my character note in them. I can open the character note, scroll down, and see all the other places where I've linked to it. These are called backlinks. And to take it a step further, I can also see the context in which I mentioned the character. And of course, I can click on it to go to that note. You can also use the drop-down menu at the top of the note to browse your note history. And you can use the arrows to navigate through your notes. We also have an AI research assistant integrated in our notes. Just hit Command-K and type a question. The AI research assistant will create a note answering that question. You can also ask follow-up questions at the bottom of the note. When you're ready to start outlining your document, navigate to the board. Think of this like a bulletin board with digital index cards where you can figure out the structure. Each column is a section of your document. You can change the name, and you can rearrange the columns. The columns are made up of cards that we call blocks, because they're the building blocks of whatever you're writing. The blocks have a title and a description. You have a lot of flexibility in how you use the columns and blocks, but here are some suggestions. If you're writing a book, you can make each block one of the chapters and organize them into sections using the columns. The block title can be the chapter title, and the description can be a synopsis of what happens. Another way of approaching it if you have long or complex chapters is to make each column a chapter, and have each block be a section of that chapter. This gives you multiple blocks per chapter. When you're in progress, your board might look something like this. For each block, you can leave comments, use tags, and notify collaborators like in your document. You can also change the status of a block and assign writers if you're collaborating. If you're not sure where a block fits into your structure, you can drag and drop it into the inbox. Once you figure out where to put it, drag and drop it back onto the board. You can also create a note for each block by clicking the note icon. This gives you an expanded workspace for that section of your writing. All the links work here, so you can add references to your characters and other notes. Plus, it goes both ways. You can reference the block notes in your other notes. Once you create a block note, you can access it by clicking the note icon on that block or by finding it in your notes list. You'll notice that regular notes and block notes have different icons, so you can tell them apart. When you've finished structuring your writing, it's time to actually write it. Navigate to your document, and you'll see all the titles of your blocks laid out for you. When you want to write that section, just click the prompt and start writing. If you want the title of the block to be the name of that section, hit Tab. This links your writing to the block, which lets you rearrange your structure. If you move a block to a new place on the board, your writing will also move to that place in your document. Select Remove Document section to delete the block and the section of the document it's linked to. Select Remove Block Keep Document section to delete the block from your board, but keep the linked section in your document. All the information you wrote in your blocks is accessible to you while you're writing your document in the Contents sidebar. Just click the block to expand it and see the info. You can also easily access your notes, so everything you need is right at hand. Toggle on Change Tracking to keep track of changes in your document. Use the drop-down menu to choose how you want to see these changes. Instead of all your drafts of this document being a bunch of separate files in a folder, They're accessible to you in the Drafts sidebar on the left. You can click on an old draft to access it. You'll notice the background color change to recycled paper. This is how you know you're looking at an old draft. You can use the Changes menu to see everything that changed in your document in that draft or since you wrote that draft. You can view the changes by the writer who made them, by the revision they were made in, or by what was deleted and added. Enable Revert Mode to undo a change you made in your old draft. This lets you take work that you cut in your old draft and bring it back in your current draft. Your work is automatically saved, but you can file a draft by clicking Snapshot. Give it a name and assign a color if you want. Assigning a color will allow you to see the changes made in this draft in that color. Every time you stop writing for 10 minutes, ButterDocs creates a snapshot called an autosave. You can access them all in your full history. To export your document, go to your desk and find the document you want to export. Click the three-dot menu and select Export. To access the settings, click the gear icon in the top right. Click All Settings for more. Alright, that's it for now. Thank you for choosing ButterDocs, and happy writing.